Now, I'd love your calls on this. Do you feel sorry for Phillip Schofield? 020 7862 2222. Tell us what you think. The former This Morning host has told how his family's support stopped him from contemplating taking his own life. Schofield made the comments from a deserted Madagascan island during the first episode of Channel 5's Castaway series last night.
In the last 8 months, it got as dark as it is possible to get. A year ago, I got so close. I had everything in place. Everything was set up, everything was ready. And it was Molly that was looking after me, Molly and Ruby both looking after me at the time. And Molly said, "Do you imagine what this would do to us if you actually managed to pull this off? Can you imagine what would happen? And can you imagine what it would do to me if you did this on my watch?" And that was just enough to take a step back from the edge.
Very compelling viewing, the whole programme. Had a lot of people watching, 1.5 million. And there, obviously, he's talking about him being close to taking his own life, not close to contemplating. He'd already contemplated. He's close to doing it. And his 2 daughters stopped him. It's reported that this could be Schofield's last TV appearance after he said the show would be his chance to have my say before I bow out. The presenter left ITV having lied about and later then admitted to an affair with a younger employee, which he says was unwise but not illegal. So, James, what did you make of it?
I think it's a fascinating piece of television because we are talking about somebody who has been on our screens for over 40 years, is, in my view, one of the greatest live TV presenters that this nation has ever created, whether you like him or not. And he has a huge following, and it's very interesting how polarising it is. I think there are some people who really absolutely love him and think that he's been treated very unfairly. And there are other people who say, no, he got his just desserts because. And I think we've conflated things. I really hate it when I see some of the criticism which has been in the papers, which puts all the great scandals that we've seen, horrific scandals that we've seen in media and arts and film, and all these people who have utterly and ruthlessly taken advantage of position illegally. And in the same breath, you're then talking about somebody who has admitted that he's made some unwise decisions, admitted that he's turned somebody else's life upside down, and probably said and done some very stupid things and maybe not been as nice as he could have been all the time. But you know what it's like to do live TV and broadcast. You're not always in a good mood. Sometimes things go wrong and it's a question of how you handle it. So, do I feel sorry for him? No, I don't think sorry is the right word. I think it is a bit self-indulgent in places. Of course, it's going to be. And, you know, there's a bit of it which is, you know, so much has been written and said about this that he's probably got quite a lot to say. And I think this is quite a good format for him to do it. I think people can come up with their own judgments.
What do you think, Helen?
Well, my initial reaction is no, I don't feel sorry for him. I think there is quite a lot of self-pity there. And I think when he says he doesn't care anymore, I think he was quoted as saying, I don't care anymore, that's it. Obviously, he clearly does care, otherwise he wouldn't be doing this programme. But I think when he talks about some unwise but not illegal things, I think some of us would call it inappropriate rather than sort of unwise. And I think it's very hard to believe that people didn't know what was going on. It's very hard to believe that...
But, OK, he messed up, clearly. We're not talking about crime, as in the case of Hugh Edwards. It's not at that level at all. He's been punished. Can we give him a free run now?
I think, yeah, I mean, there is a lot, I think, to be said about, you know, trial by media and the council culture that you've got. And I think that is another thing to talk about. But I think also that we need to see some better safeguarding policies in a lot of companies. And there's a wider discussion to have there, not just in the media. But I think when you see, you know, shots like that of when he talks about his daughter, you know, talking to him, that I think it's very hard not to have some empathy with that.
Yeah, I think you should.
But I do think it's easier to have empathy with somebody who's who hasn't done it to themselves, who's going through that kind of thing.
Self-pity, James?
But I guess there's always going to be an element of that, and it's really difficult. How can you possibly talk about something that's happened to you and not make it look like that? So I think there's an element, just get over it, actually. It's going to be self-pity, so just get there. But I think also the fact that you also have to look into the context that when all this started, or the genesis of it, is that people like him couldn't really be gay, and he hadn't dealt with his own sexuality, and so there's a whole web of lies and things going on around that. And I think that had the relationship been, and we've seen many relationships where people have had relationships at work with a younger colleague, with whatever, and it's kind of nobody bats an eyelid. And I think that because it's a same-sex relationship, because he was married at the time, because people don't necessarily know what he did or did not say to his wife, the fact that he's still there and able to sit round a table with them and talk means that they've reconciled. So maybe it's not up to us. Just let them get on with it.
When they sat around the table, he said to his family members, "Are you okay? You okay? You okay?" And people were saying, that's him having a dig at Holly. I don't know if it was or not. It might just have been an expression, because Holly Willoughby, his former partner on TV, famously said, "Are you okay?" when they returned after the whole...
I don't know whether he did or didn't.
Know. Probably
if they're cancelling him for that, let's get over it. This is the man who bought us Gordon the Gopher.
Well, I suppose the question is, has he uncancelled himself because of last night? Amy in London, you were watching. Is he now, you think, a free man?
I was watching it, and I just think he's been treated so badly. He completely convinced me. I mean, if that was an act, he deserves an Oscar. I think he's been treated appallingly. You mentioned Holly Willoughby. That's one of the people I think absolutely threw him under the bus. People he considered friends. What he's guilty of being human. Yeah, okay, he's a celebrity. He had a bad relationship. Who hasn't? He made bad decisions. Who hasn't? You know, but the way
I still don't understand why
his career is destroyed.
Holly's people started putting out this stuff about she doesn't want to work with him anymore, and he'd been through this court case where he was a witness and his brother was on trial. I don't understand why she did that. I still don't understand. She given up on him, I guess.
It's to save her own career, obviously, because people would have... I personally think that. I just think he has done nothing illegal, nothing criminal. He's been human. He made a bad decision, and it's appalling. I feel really sorry. And he needed a platform like this. I'm so glad that he did, because people needed to hear his side. Otherwise, everyone's making their own assumptions. His career has got destroyed. I really hope that with this, people can see, that just give him a break.
Yeah, I think, I think it's not...
enough?
I don't think his career is over. I think he may well come back on TV, because at least if he's honest, people can say, OK, that actually maybe gives us more of the real Phillip Schofield, and we need that. We can see another clip, actually. This is the one where he sits down with his family.
I've spent so much time reflecting, but if you do it in four walls, then nothing changes. But I am not doing this as a poor me. I don't think I have a right. I don't have a right to a poor me. Some families can adapt. Some families can't. Without them, I wouldn't be here.
I've been so proud of him. So proud of him. And as a daughter, to see the love that people had for him. So when it's taken away, it's just heartbreaking.
Oh, it's so complicated, this, because he did betray his family. He kept it all secret, but then, he was not out as a gay man, and that must be very torturous for him. I don't know what you're judging him quite harshly here.
I'm not sure that I'm judging you, because I don't think I have the right to judge anybody, because you don't have all the evidence.
But he's in the public figure.
But I think he has put himself in that position. Yeah. He did lie. He did do things that if it was in any other job would be more questionable.
But an affair is a lie. To put the other side, there is no way of having an affair without lying. So the two things. So all affairs are lies.
No, but then he lied. But lying to
ITV was an entirely secondary thing, wasn't it? Because he's just trying to cover his traces at that point.
But I think there are a whole list of traces which are, you look back and you say, well, you wouldn't do this and you wouldn't do that. I would just say, the fact that he's managed to either repair or rebuild the relationship with his wife or former wife or whatever, and his children, and the fact that they're prepared to go on, they're not doing it out of...
I was impressed with that.
You know, and I think that says an awful lot in the sense that who are we to judge on the basis that we or the nation or the channel or whatever it is has cancelled him on the basis of making assumptions.
Yeah.
And I think particularly because of the nature of the relationship. And I think we still have a problem with same-sex relationships in this nation at some level. And I think that he's done a lot actually to help people understand that these things happen.
OK, we don't know anything about the counterparty in this, as a young runner or whatever on the show. I hope he's OK, because I would never get told about him. Because if he stepped forward and said I'm a victim of this, that would be a whole different story. But he hasn't said anything. Rachel is in Conwy, North Wales. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, Jeremy.
What do you think of Phillip Schofield's programme?
I haven't watched it. I don't dare to watch it because I don't feel sorry for him.
OK. Tell us why.
I think he's a disgrace. I think he's like a child. He wants to be attention seeker all the time, and he wants to have friends back again. But I don't think he's making the situation worse. And he's making his family upset, and he's making everybody upset. It's not fair. OK,
Rachel, thanks so much. Diane in Torfan. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Jeremy. Hello, panel.
Hello. What do you think of Phillip Schofield's decision?
I feel so sorry for him. Jeremy, it's unbelievable how some people, hateful people, could make him feel that way. It don't matter if he's Phillip Schofield, Joe Blogs. It doesn't matter who you are. You should never, ever be so cruel as to make somebody think about taking their own life. You know, it's awful. I really, really feel so sorry for him. And like I said, he got a wonderful family. Thank God for that. And his friends. Yeah. Just remember this, Phil. You've got your family, your friends. That's all you need in your life. Don't worry about those hateful people. They're just hateful people that don't deserve to have had an opinion on your life. Okay. It's your life. Nobody else's life is your life.
Yeah, thanks, Diane. Very, very compassionate. Sue in Devon, hi. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I feel very sorry for Phillip. I think the way he was treated was absolutely appalling. Okay. So he had an affair. Lots of people do. Ollie asked him and he lied. But why should he have to admit to something that is private?
It's more that I think if you're like, he's on the sort of level of king at ITV, and the person he had an affair with is on the level of kind of a courtier or below. So you've got a difference, and that's a power difference. So if Phillip approaches this young man and says, "Can we go out for drinks?" or whatever, the young man can't really say no. That is the problem, isn't it? And it's that abuse of power that is the problem here.
Yeah, but the thing is, Jeremy, if he'd had an affair with a woman, he would still be on the TV.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
I do.
And
James agrees with you.
I agree with you, Sue.
Well, he has an affair with a 19-year-old female researcher at an ITV cell, that's fine.
It's not a question of it's fine, but it's a question of how did it start? Because I don't think none of us know how it started, and I think you're right. If the power dynamic was there, and if it was an abuse of that power dynamic, that's one thing. But some people are attracted to that power dynamic, and they go for it. And so, who's to say? So, Sue, I think you're absolutely spot on.
All right, Sue, thank you. We've got a vote there. Val in Cornwall, hi.
Hello.
What are you thinking about Phillip deciding to go to the island?
I think it's wonderful, because I felt so sorry last night to see him. He's got a very loving family and a fantastic mum, and he's a very good son. And I just think it's so sad that the media have blown all this up. He's innocent until proven guilty. And I completely agree with what James has said. And last night we saw the side that we all know him as. And I just feel very, very sorry for the media and these people that are against him all the time.
Thank you, Val. You're, again, very compassionate. Pat in Merseyside, you don't agree so much?
No, I wish him well. He's a really good man. I don't wish him any ill whatsoever.
I can't hear you very well. Try and speak into the phone.
And he doesn't seem to be remorseful about the other person
being a younger person that was taken advantage of. So that, I think, really is why
That's the thing I was mentioning. Yeah.
Through.
Yeah.
Because,
are you anywhere near your phone, Pat, where you're speaking into? I can't hear you very well.
There is a little bit of blame here. A younger person was the one that was taken advantage of. If it had happened to maybe one of his daughters with an older chap, maybe it would have been a reverse.
All right. Thank you, Pat.